My little pony, my little pony.
Welcome to Bronyville. This is episode 37, recorded on January 14th, 2012. I am your host, Chef Sandy, and I am joined here today by Plaster.
Hello.
And Mandopony.
Hi there, everyone.
And Rob.
Hey, how's it going?
So this is the big post-BroNYCon episode. We're here, and hopefully we all, are feeling human again after the crazy weekend that was. I know I still have, the remains of a blister on my right foot. It's crazy. So much walking that weekend. So, we're going to do our normal intro stuff. Favorite character, favorite episode. To give people a little bit of information about what you really like about the show. So, favorite character, Rob.
Well, I guess it's kind of a given, but my favorite character is definitely Pinkie Pie.
Okay, and she's had her episode today. That was a good one.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Mando, it says yours is impossible to pick.
It is pretty impossible for me to pick. I feel like what I really enjoy watching are the characters interacting, and specific interactions between, Twilight and Rarity I think are funny, with the Egghead and the Fashionista getting together, being girly. I think Applejack and Rainbow Dash are always fun to watch. I would probably have to go with Twilight as my favorite, but I really like Rarity too because she is a great spin on a classic character archetype. She's a fashionista, into all this. Darling, she's so fabulous, but you would think that she's, you would think that she would be selfish because that's how that kind of character is portrayed a lot. But her element of harmony is generosity, and I think that that's cool that they write her that way, and I like that.
Yep. All right.
It feels like, it feels like they kind of challenged themselves writing Rarity because of that archetype, and then they gave her the element of generosity to throw everything up. So, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so obviously we're going to go on to the next part. Favorite episode? Rob? Definitely
Party of One. I definitely think that's hands down one of the best episodes, and it's definitely one of my favorites. That's the episode I basically show everybody to try to give off there's that kind of bad mojo that used to surround MLP because of the different shows from the 80s and 90s, which, by the way, creeped the hell out of me. But now that they've changed the character style, the Lauren Faust, kind of big-eyed, smooth, kind of round, easy-colored style, like she did to Powerpuff Girls and her other animations, I think it makes it a lot more versatile. It just doesn't give off that kind of weird, in the 80s they had that weird, big snout look, and that just creeped the hell out of me.
It was almost Uncanny Valley.
It was
They tried maybe a little bit too close to horses, perhaps?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
hippos.
Yeah, hippos. Hippo, horse, demon spawn. You're just why do girls watch this? They should have nightmares after seeing this. But Party of One definitely throws off the whole girly archetype because it's Pinkie Pie showing that, she always wants to make people laugh, but at the same time, she's kind of uncertain about herself. And when all of her friends start avoiding her, she kind of has, a bad feeling about it, and she doesn't want to lose her friends. And so she goes kind of insane for a bit. And that's the part that everybody's like, whoa, they put this in this show. And I think it's a little bit darker, but I think it's kind of funny. Because they don't go too dark with it. It's not like the Twilight Zero episode where, if that wasn't a kid show, I was expecting her to kill those kids. when she appeared right there next to the Cutie Crusaders, I was like, oh god, they're gonna die. This looks like something from Hannibal.
Hi, girls.
She's like, I can telefrag this beach ball. Watch me telefrag one of you.
Yeah,
telefrag.
All right, so how about you, Mando?
I would have to say that my favorite episode is probably at the gala, and I'd say because the song itself is just so fantastic. Obviously it reeks of Sondheim, and I'm a huge Sondheim fan, and it felt like the entire first season, from the princess sending her the tickets to the gala, and then Rarity making dresses for the gala. It seemed like the whole first season was leading up to this huge moment at the gala, and fantastic music, fantastic underscoring, as with every other episode by William Anderson. I think just made it the best night ever.
All right. So obviously, then of course, there's the question of why do you love the show and what others people think of it. So, Rob.
Well, I definitely like the show because I think that the characters are... I think the writing is very witty. It's not just kind of girly talk where it's like the only people who could relate to it is 6 to 8-year-old girls. It's a lot more adult than anybody really thinks. And I like the fact that they kind of write some more adult humor jokes. Like in the very beginning of the first episode, she calls Spike Casanova. Mm-hmm. What kid is going to know who Casanova is?
Yeah, I would agree with that, and I think that even though it's adult in humor, it's definitely not, like crude humor. I think just witty humor, very witty humor.
Very witty, and I think that really shows off with the characters because even just the way that the color palettes they use aren't as... There's not as much pink as you'd think there would be, which kind of branches off from. And just overall, the characters are it's a good ensemble cast, and they all mix well. Or sometimes they don't mix well, and that also sometimes actually mixes. It creates like a nice sense of drama, but it's resolved for the most part.
And obviously, all of us being adult fans of this show, so what do others think of it?
Well, most of the people I know are usually fans of the show, and everybody else is kind of neutral. I don't really know that many people that directly hate the show, and when they do, it's usually because they hate a lot of other things too.
Yeah.
They're just haters in general.
Usually the reason why they hate the show, it's not because they hate the actual show, it's because they hate the people who watch it sometimes.
And bronies can be very overzealous.
That is very true. But, I think we've discussed it before that for a lot of people, this is probably their first big fandom that they've gotten into, so they haven't quite learned the ropes. They're also a bit young, but, What about you, Mando?
Well, I definitely... what struck me about the show was, first off, someone shared a clip of it to me, which is how I was introduced to it, which was Rainbow Dash laughing in the first episode. And I noticed that the animation quality just seems so... it just seemed leaps and bounds ahead of the quality of other especially Flash-based animation shows that were on television. And that really drew me to it. And then I watched the rest of the episodes from the first season and realized the voice acting is amazing. The music is fantastic, both the underscore and the actual songs by Daniel. And the writing is just brilliant. And I realized this is not just a good kids show, this is a good show. And, that's what I love about it. It's everything.
All right, so also, for start of the show, we can't help but mention our sponsors that we love fine. Use our coupon code Bronyville10 and you'll get 10% off your purchase, and that includes shirts, tote bags, and hats, and everything else. And some of the new stuff that Hiza has put out, the
fantastic,
the French-style illustrations with Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, and Twilight are amazing. My wallet, it's not ready for this. It seriously isn't.
Like, there's that Yick Omega shirt with the you got a problem with blank flanks with Scootaloo on the FLCL thing going on.
Yeah, that's
that
great.
one. That one just got greenlit to be sold, and I really want one of those.
Yep, they have like a Slayer shirt that says Pony on the news.
Oh yeah, that thing is awesome. My friend Ed from the band Acoustic Brony just saw that not too long ago, and he freaked out because he's a huge fan of Slayer, and he was like, "Oh, dude, you've got to say this!" And he showed me, and I was like, "Ah, awesome!"
Pinnacle and all. Wow.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty slick. I might have to get that. See, they always put out all these amazing new shirts each week. It's like they're print on demand, so it's not like they just produce them, so not every design has a ton sold, but they have them available, and that's great. All right, so moving on, we're going to be going into the news segment. There was kind of this thing that happened last week. It's called BroNYCon.
Just a little thing that...
Oh, yeah.
In case you missed it.
I hear that some of the might have gotten involved, but we'll get to that here in just a minute.
It depends on which media, because I heard that Fox News's what is it?
Yeah, the Red Eye program.
The Red Eye program. They came over there, and it was a disaster.
Yeah.
Then again, whenever Fox News gets involved with this thing, it's usually a disaster.
We will. The first bit of thing in the news this week is actually something very, I guess, minor, but something we've been wanting for a long time. The blind bag ponies are now totally available at Walmart in the U.S.
Wait, what? What? Yes? U.S.?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I'm going to Walmart after this.
Blind bag ponies. They, if you look on the link in the show notes, it's linked to Dear Behoove News. And actually, the two photos that are in the article are actually from me. As you can see, my sort of badly lit, kind of grimy-looking keyboard. Except it's really not that grimy. I cleaned it. It doesn't have any skin oil or anything. And then my World of Warcraft mousepad. That's what the packages looks like. And if you go and find the chart that has the list of which pony is which, it does correlate. So
That's awesome.
If you're not the first person to get to it, I wouldn't expect to find a Fluttershy, just saying. Because I was the first person to get a hold of the box at the particular Walmart I went to, and there's not a Fluttershy. I bought 6 of the things. And then I realized I now have 4 Rainbow Dash miniatures on my desk.
With that, I heard that they're pretty much showing up at all Walmarts across the United States. I've heard from Ohio, California, Texas.
And the thing is, Walmart doesn't have a lot of pony space. So, the first one I went to didn't have any pony on their shelves at all because they were doing reorganization. And the second place, the one where I found it, they had just sort of shoved them over near the action figure aisle on an end cap next to, some cars or something, just because there was no room in the pony section. So if you go and you look and it's not with the My Little Pony toys, just browse the entire section, and they might have just shoved them somewhere, I wouldn't say inappropriate, but not correct.
Look everywhere for ponies.
Well, that's the thing. I walked through the section 2 or 3 times because I was going up and down the aisles because I kind of figured they would have placed them somewhere random, and they totally had. But,
my Walmart in town, they do the same thing. They don't even have a section for ponies anymore. It's all Juju pets and Barbies.
Oh,
you walk down that pink aisle and you're like, where's the ponies? I don't want to look like a freak. Where are they?
Hey, just say, I got kids or something. I don't know.
Birthday present.
Yep. But no, I totally bought them, My Little Ponies. There you go. Walked up, went to the express checkout. Old Asian lady looked at me like, what? You gonna say something? No, you're not. All right.
That's what I thought.
But they're $2 a piece, and you can get all your little pocket ponies. Also, it is worth noting that the recolor ponies from the Toys R Us set are different than the recolor ponies available in the actual blind bags. So, if you really need a ton of blind bag recolor ponies, you can totally get a whole bunch more. Moving on, there's in the show notes, I put everyone reports on BroNYCon, everyone seriously. And that goes to 5...
Seriously, you guys.
Seriously. Serious business, guys. There are 5 different Huffington Post, Fox's Red Eye.
Well, they don't count. They're humor.
Yeah, it is technically. It should be noted that it is a humor show.
It's humor, and I'm using quotation fingers here. Humor. They're
Humor.
Z-level Jon Stewart. Maximum tryhards.
It's still a national news channel, so there's a lot of people who watch
the
it.
problem is that with the elections coming up, there's only 2 things you'll have. What's going on in the election with Romney, or what else can we make fun of on Red Eye? Because, they even made fun of political campaigns, but it's just the simple fact that nobody at Fox News, I don't think anybody in any of the major news channels who've reported on any stuff with MLP,
they don't get it.
They don't do any research. They're just oh, it's a bunch of guys watching a pony show. Ha!
Yeah, well,
doing research.
Well, we have a serious problem anyway, where I think society loves to look at something and then they like to identify, oh, that's weird, and then they point a finger at it and they say, that's weird, and look at me, I'm normal. That's weird, I'm normal. And I think that they're doing that a lot with MLP.
Really, the only ones that of the recent spate of reporting that I felt were less than charitable were Gawker and Fox. But again, they're Gawker and Fox. They're not exactly respected journalistic institutions.
No, I actually
other ones are generally pretty nice, and I think that it could have been a lot worse. That's basically the thing when it comes to media and fan communities of any stripe. Be
that's true.
Anime or Ren Fair or anything like that, they're going to go out there and they're going to try to find the weirdest looking dude.
Ren Fair.
Yeah, I mean, I go to that all the time. And
they're not going to interview me in my sweater. No, they're going to interview the guy dressed as Big Mac.
Yeah, it's like, I was there and I was dressed. I had a nice black polo, looking pretty pro. No neck beard or anything. And
looking pretty sexy. No homo.
And they don't go to guys like me or Plaster. You were looking all pro in that sweater vest and
Yay.
Oh, dang it. Oh, that'll be a yay.
Yay.
But they're gonna go to the guy who's cross-dressed, or the guy with the Fluttershy wig. It's the nature of the beast.
I was actually I saw the Fox News guy doing his interviews, and he was some weird looking little dude. I was sitting with Calamity from Equestria Daily, and he pointed him out to me. I'm like, big cameras, like, oh, he's from not Fox News. I'm like, huh, interesting. And this guy was just, you could tell he was there to kind of make fun of us, but. I think I've heard the interview and like the video, and he didn't do a very good job.
Yeah, actually, when they were doing that, AC and I had actually gone to go get lunch because you're going to be on stage for the next 4 or 5 hours. So we dodged that bullet. So. Yeah. Moving on, because, we're going to be discussing BroNYCon here in a little bit, but only for a little bit. So, all the people that are like, I've heard so much about BroNYCon. Just a little bit more. Hang in there. Coming up, though, is another con here on the West Coast. Well, I say here on the West Coast. On the West Coast, called Animation on Display. It is it's an animation convention over in the West Coast, in San Francisco, actually. And the guest of honor is Jason Thiessen. And AC and I are going to be there, and we're probably going to get an interview with him. So that'll be really cool.
Best of luck to you on that one.
But, we saw that, we got on it, and hopefully everything will go as planned, and we'll be able to have a Jason interview on our show. And then...
I really think he might be showing up to the June BroNYCon. I think he will. If Faust is gone. But anyways.
Yeah. It'll be cool to see. Because I haven't been out to the West Coast before. I haven't been out to San Francisco, so it'll be kind of cool to see the city and hang out with AC more. We get along really well in person. It's pretty cool. But there's a link to that. It's off Equestria Daily, and Brony's Northern California, which is AC's meetup group, is doing some panels and mixers and stuff like that. So meet some people in the community, have a good time, hopefully get to talk to Jason. It's looking like it'll be really cool. And if you're on the West Coast and can't get out to New York City, this is an alternative. Moving on.
Yes. Did you want me to read one of these, or what's going on?
If you want to, I'm just kind of like I'm the news pony. I get to talk to everything.
Oh, they're both Equestria. Okay, I'll do the next one. How about that?
Sorry, bro.
It's okay. See, the BroNYCon charity auctions. So these following items presently available on eBay and fans of Applejack, Rainbow Dash, with Pinkie Pie, or Fluttershy would be especially lucky to win these items, as they feature signatures from Miss Ashley Ball and Miss Andrea Libman. An official BroNYCon poster featuring Pinkie Pie, Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash, and Applejack plus. Okay, so it's the one from John Hoseko, and that one is signed by Ashley Ball and Andrea Libman. And then there's another one from John Hoseko that is signed by Miss Ashley Ball. And then the official BroNYCon January 12, 2012 poster with Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy by Specacy. I think that's how you pronounce that name. That one's signed by Andrea Libman. And those are all on eBay.
Mm-hmm. And by the time this episode comes out, there will still be like a day or two left. So Wednesday, there will still be like a day left, I think. Or so you have to get on it quick. It is kind of funny that John Hosika poster that has all of the show ponies plus John and AC and I. People are griping, why are there OCs? Oh, it's so terrible. It's like, why are they included? It's like, well, we were guests of honor too. You know, but we didn't ask him to include us, and it was just sort of those, you walked up and was like, oh my gosh, really? That's awesome. So, whatever.
Yeah, all right.
It's like people are going to gripe about anything. And
I'm gonna gripe that I wasn't on it. Can I gripe about that?
Yeah.
I totally think Mandopony should have been on there. Just saying.
Yeah,
You should have.
No, you should have.
No, you.
What now, hater?
Oh, snap.
The next thing is actually something we've discussed here on the show before, is the lack of availability of iTunes downloads in other countries.
Yes, this is a very sticky situation.
And I'm very glad that somebody finally got a response to just so people just listen and say, okay, this is why it's this way. Please be patient. You know, so
it was kind of one of those situations where we're all in the dark for a while, and we're thinking, is it trolls? Is it actually Hasbro? I'm really glad that somebody finally got around to letting us know what's up.
But this particular thing is that at the link, it basically has a little bit of exposition and basically a reply email from one of the Nordic senior brand manager for games in My Little Pony, which apparently Viking ponies.
That's an awesome name, like Medfelling Hilson, I believe that's his name.
No, actually, I think that's just his.
That's kind regards. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know Nordic. It's all right.
But they're like, thanks for your email and interest in My Little Pony. We understand your frustration, but the reason Hasbro can't make the new episodes available is it would infringe on deals made with TV networks outside of the U.S. TV network could be very upset. In some cases, could have a lawsuit against Hasbro if an episode was viewed in their market for free or even via DVD before it aired on the network. And some TV network deals also include certain holdback time periods in which an episode airs with their network versus how long it would be okay to be aired available elsewhere. Unfortunately, this means for the time being, you guys need to be patient. At the moment, we don't have any deals in place with Finnish broadcasters, but we are working on it. Fingers crossed that at some point be able to offer episodes in both localized and original on iTunes in Europe as well, since we would love to be able to provide this opportunity to all of our fans.
Because that was
worldwide contractual obligations.
Yes, that was the biggest complaint, is that we here in America have so many options to get episodes as they come out. Now, people everywhere else, they're the ones that kind of get screwed over by this. So that's...
Yeah, it's good that we finally have an answer from somebody, you know?
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
It's kind of funny because it seems like a lot of times we resort to wild mass guessing when it comes to why something is a certain way, and then it just takes one random person to email a brand manager and say, "Excuse me, why is this?" And then we finally find out.
It makes me think of like a wild mob, all like, "Let's trip something over," and then some normal guy's like,
"It's a communist conspiracy."
I'm going to actually ask the question that you guys are all worried about.
Yeah. It's just kind of funny that it works out that way. But yeah, that's about the news for the week. And lots of con stuff, blind bag ponies in the U.S. Hopefully, next week, probably no BroNYCon news, just saying.
Too old news. Nobody cares anymore.
Yep. That was like a week ago.
This is the internet.
Really?
Yeah. It's 5 minutes old. Forget it.
And the next section is our books, a.k.a. our fanfic suggestions. Because, well, some of us, we like to read fanfic on occasion, and we like to suggest the ones we really enjoy to you, the listener. My pick for this week is The Third Generation by Candlelight. It is a third-generation ponies show up in Equestria, and OMG, what do? Basically, it kind of posits the idea that the third-generation ponies were sort of created by Discord as his pet little time loop thing that he was ruling over.
Wow.
But somehow the G3 versions of Pinkie Pie and Rainbow Dash have shown up and are sort of causing confusion. And it's really kind of funny because the way Rainbow Dash interacts with her G3 self, and she's like, "Ah, you're worse than Rarity." Rainbow Dash always dresses in style. Not so much in G4.
Darling. Always in style. So fabulous, darling.
Get it away from me.
Yeah, it is funny because, like, it's like, that's not me. That can't possibly be me. That's impossible.
I've seen comments about that.
I remember
remember that
short
one,
little comic where, like, it shows Rainbow Dash watching G.3.5, and so Rainbow Dash always dresses with style, and she gets like tears in her eyes and screams, "No, no!"
Yes, that's a good comic. But yeah, when I first read it, there was only chapter 1, but now they're up to chapter 3 as of Saturday. So hopefully it will continue. I normally don't like to promote in-progress fics because sometimes they stop being in progress and never complete. But it was a good read. And Plaster, you don't read fiction. You're terrible.
I don't get to. I am a terrible person. I have too many things to watch. So
same for me, pretty much. I mean, hate to say it, I don't really read a lot. Although Bob here got me interested in a little thing called Stargate Equestria. We had a lot.
I don't really read much of them either, but I kind of stumbled across it, and I was a big Stargate SG-1 fan, so I was like, okay, let's see what they did here. And the writing, the guy's name is Boss Stone, but he's really good. It really plays off just like an episode of Stargate SG-1. I mean, there's fics that are like, okay, and then there's like, holy crap, this is incredible. And I have to say, it was just incredible.
Especially if you get a whole bunch of friends together who happen to be voice actors, and you read it out loud together. It's a grand.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, we have this kind of inside joke where, because they're both eggheads. Did you guys ever watch Stargate SG-1?
No.
All right. One of the characters' name is Daniel Jackson. He's the archaeologist who basically helps the team translate some of the alien language because it's all based around Egyptian language. Okay. And because him and Twilight are both eggheads, they automatically kind of start to become really good friends. And we kind of started making fun of that a lot.
Because Jackson kind of makes fun of that a lot.
Yeah. And the guy in charge, Colonel O'Neill, makes fun of Jackson for that. So we kind of had this inside joke, just kind of making fun of it. But I'm not going to go into detail about it. But it's great.
It sounds fun. Yeah, it does.
The story itself is very well written, and it definitely brings out the characters. SG-1 in particular, they really just bring all those characters out right to the point. Really good. And the ponies are very believable, too.
All right. Well,
that's always a fic killer when they're out of character.
No, it's very in character.
And another good thing that you brought up before was that it's not sort of like, oh, I'm a human in Equestria and I know these ponies from the TV show.
It's not one of those human Equestria Brony who knows everything automatically. It plays out way better than that.
It's pretty cool.
Yep. All right. And moving on, we have finally reached the part of the show where, again, I don't have to talk very much because we're going to be talking about these guys, Rob and Mando's contribution to the community.
Why are you here?
Why are you here? The Epic Cupcake Time 2. So, gentlemen, explain yourselves.
What have you done?
What is this project and why did you do it?
Explain Epic Cupcake Time, Epic Pie Time, or both?
Just why did you want to do this? And Epic Pie Time was really cool. I mean, you debuted it at BroNYCon, and we're here to just talk about y'all's creative works today. So, basically the why, the how, the who you had help you with the project, and basically community response. It's like, why did you decide to do an Epic Mealtime spoof with ponies?
Well, it kind of started off as something like a little bit of an audio joke that we did back in July. It was me and a couple of friends who aren't really involved with the project that much anymore. But I kind of wrote out this short sample audio because I am striving to be a audio and sound effect kind of producer, audio. Blech. I'm kind of striving to be a person in charge of like audio mixing and sound effects because right now I'm taking like video audio class in college. That's kind of my major, cool. And I really just love it. I really just love the way that audio and just video can kind of mix to make something funny or make something sad. Just the overall just how you can show different emotions through doing different things through sound. So I was like, all right, well, I was a big Epic Mealtime fan at the time, so I was like, you know what? What if we did Pinkie Pie as Harley, and we just had her like make some kind of like crazy cupcakes with Rainbow Dash, because you need Harley. If Harley is going to be played by Pinkie Pie, then we need to have somebody to be Muscle's glasses. So it just makes sense it'd be Rainbow Dash.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So basically, we started off as this audio file in July where it was just simple audio, but like I got a question daily. A lot of people liked it. And then in October, our animator, Evan, came up to me and he's like, hey, I animated this. You should check it out. And that was epic. That was the first Epic Cupcake Time that everybody saw. So I was like, holy crap, this is incredible. How did you do this magic? So
he is a wizard. Proven fact.
Proven fact. All right, I believe it.
Flash wizard.
Yes.
He did that. He said that he did it in a day.
That is wizardly. That is
he did Epic Pie Time in less than a week.
That's pretty wizardy.
Holy cow! I wish I had that kind of skill.
Yeah, we were pretty much like, contact him and say, okay, do you want to animate this? He's like, all right. And for the sequel. And then, we were like waiting. We were wondering, how long is this going to take? And then he was just like quiet for like 5 or 6 days.
I was keeping contact with him through email.
Oh, you were in touch with him? Okay, I kind of picture him like hunkered down in this art bunker, just like ignoring the rest of the world, making his wizardry.
A lot of people ask how he's able to do everything so fast. And the trick is that you pre-render everything. So you only have to animate it.
Well, that
it's
makes
Flash.
sense.
It's Flash, so you can just pre-render a bunch of stuff. But that's how he does it. And actually, I'm pretty sure that's how they do it in the real show. You just have everything pre-rendered, and then you just kind of stick it in there and animate what you need to animate for frames. But, after the first one, we're like, wow, that was really good, because we sent it out less than 2 hours later. Harley, the guy from Epic Mealtime, actually got a hold of it, and he retweeted it. He's like, hey, guys, this is great.
Oh, really?
Got on Hot Topic. Yeah, and that's how I got to 200,000 views by, like, the end of the week.
That's impressive.
I think I saw the first one where it just had the stills moving.
No, that was just mine was a static picture. This other person came up to me, and they weren't really very cooperative at all.
Oh, really?
They were trying to steal off my idea. To be honest,
that's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, well,
at least you got it worked out on the end here, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm working with Evan. Evan's a good animator, and he's a nice guy, and I'd rather work with him over anybody else. At least we know a couple other animators too, but most of them, one of them, he's a good guy, but he's kind of lazy, and I'm pretty sure I'd have to coerce him to do the animations, though he's really good.
Yeah.
He did a Dan versus FIM trailer. You guys might have seen this.
I think I've seen that one, yeah.
He did that, and I really like the guy. He's a good guy, but
you're going to go with the guy who gets it done.
It's
bottom line.
I'm going to go with Evan because he gets stuff done. And he's definitely he definitely did the first one, and I feel I'm obligated to start working with him because we have some other ideas that we kind of want to work with him on. We think the community will like him. So
he's doing a great job. You guys are doing fantastic. So I think you made a good decision.
Yeah, because we were there at BroNYCon, and I got to see it on the screen. It's really quite funny, and I liked it. The fan response seemed to be pretty positive.
They loved it. The audience went wild. I'm sure you saw that. I heard it.
Saw that.
Yeah. I was pretty blown away by this one video that would look like it was taken from the audience, actually, and you could hear everybody kind of flipping out as it went on, and that was a lot of fun. Rob contacted me after hearing some of my music and asked me if I was interested in doing music for this. I was like, well, yeah, of course I am, and so being just even slightly involved, it's a really cool feeling to see and hear people react that way. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That was a good crowd. We had a really good. Yeah, I'm sure anybody.
You guys were into it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everyone was extremely hyped. I mean, talking like if you were there, the main 6 thing, people doing that, it was really loud in there.
Equestria Online, they went crazy as soon as the login screen came up, and it was just, wow. I was really just pleased the whole day.
Oh, speaking of Equestria Online, I forgot to mention, I don't think I've told many people this, I just recently recorded some lines for an NPC for that game.
Oh, cool.
So,
very nice.
So I'll probably be Random Background Punny number 2.
Very nice.
So your voice will show up in like 30 different places, not too much different than Tor, huh? Oh, snap.
Oh, yeah. Oh! Titanic 2.
Hang on, we're not going to go there.
Oh, okay. Too big to fail. Let's do this.
This hole is a feature, and I'm going to enjoy it. This is not a video game cast. This is a pony cast. I could pontificate about Tor if I really wanted to, but I don't want to because this is a pony cast.
It's a pony cast.
So yeah, do you have future plans to make further animations like this, or just sort of incidental stuff like the?
That was Evan. That was Evan himself. Evan kind of does his own animations, and we kind of do the audio for bigger ones.
Okay.
Though I'm hoping to get in contact with him more because he lives in Australia, so there's that kind of time gap.
Oh my!
More importantly, he's having some computer troubles, so I'm hoping to get him online so we can talk with him more because we kind of have I have Bree as Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy, which she does a ridiculous job imitating Andrea, and our
she was
Rainbow.
the one that was there, right?
That was Bree. She was the one actually at the panel.
She's got the energy for it, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, she definitely does.
She pretty much is Pinkie Pie, and I say that in the best possible way.
Yeah, I saw her. She was very pink and...
very, very hyper. You need that to be Pinkie.
Oh, of course.
But she's not always hyper. I think she was just really high on sugar that day.
Well, I mean, it'd be really hard not to get hype about that.
Oh, yeah, it's just one of those things. But... Erica is our Rainbow Dash, and she also does
awesome too.
She also does a sick Applejack. I was really impressed. It's pretty scary how good.
If she was on the camera too, I kind of feel bad that we didn't really get to talk to her too much. But
we couldn't hear anybody over this high pitched whine coming over that microphone. There's something wrong with Kevin's computer.
Yeah. There was issues with Daniel Ingram's as well, and with the Equestria Online guys. It just wasn't tested well enough, I think.
A bunch of gremlins.
I think it also was probably a bit of a bandwidth issue, because I'm going to guess the hotel didn't have the best connection.
Actually, Kez's dad installed the internet hotel internet, so we had that wide open for us. We had 8 megs down, 8 megs up. So I'm not sure what happened there. I think it was just the whole audio setup, which honestly, I think other than that, everything else went as good as it could have.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just unfortunate.
So I mean, it is unfortunate that your panel at BroNYCon got cut a little short. But I mean, again, the more you know. And next time around, there's a 2-day thing, and hopefully we'll have everything better. There'll actually be space between panels.
Yeah, definitely. I think things will be. They know everything that went wrong, and they're working on making sure that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, I mean, BroNYCon has gone from a small gathering to a legitimate small convention, and
yeah, I think that was the biggest issue. It's just grown so pointedly. It's so much bigger now than I think anybody expected it to be, and anytime it grows beyond your expectations, there are going to be hiccups.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I trust it's going to get better. I'm really excited.
They will learn their lesson and come back in 5-6 months for the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And AC and I are planning to be there. So
Derpy Hoos has a huge show planned in the works as well. So
hopefully everyone can get back up there and have a good time.
Yeah, I hope everybody who wants to go, especially you guys, Mando and Rob, I hope you guys are able to make it next time. And
yeah, we really hope we can make it next time.
It was a good time. It was a really good time.
So much easier to host that panel if we were physically there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sure.
Oh,
that Skype thing, no offense, but that Skype panel, that lasted all of 5 minutes. That is not what we were expecting at all.
I feel really bad about that, but unfortunately, I can feel bad as I want to. I didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I was up there, I was the panelist, but I'm not the one setting the schedule. And it just was other things before that had gone long. And when there's
especially the musicians panel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it took forever.
But I hear that now Everfree Radio is going to be in charge of the next thing because of whatever happened between the staff and everything else. But we've actually been hanging out with them. We can definitely know that they'll get everything taken.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see. There's some stuff up in the air about it that we're not all technically privy to.
Wait, are they not going to do it, or are they going to do it? Because I didn't actually hear that part.
Well, they tried to talk to Purple. From what I heard.
Yeah, I think they're trying to get them into it, but we don't know.
Purple came up to them and said, you guys basically saved this con because of all the different audio stuff that was happening. But
and the live stream and stuff like that, they made it a lot bigger than it really was, than it would have been, and they did a lot.
Yeah, and I have to say that was the crowd there plus the 3,000 or so whatever on the stream was the biggest audience I've ever talked to. So
yeah.
That was
that just makes the entire thing even bigger and better, and I can only imagine how huge the next one's going to be.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So let's see. Anything else regarding the Cupcakes? Future projects, future plans?
Well, I want to give a shout out to my animator Evan. His channel is No More Than 9. It's the same channel that our videos are on, but he also has some other short animations that he did himself that are really funny.
You definitely need to check it all out.
Like the Derpy Christmas and the deleted scene, obviously.
Yes.
He had that out in no time flat. That was pretty funny. He probably just had to insert the baby pony, and because once they figure out what it's going to look like,
find the audio. I mean, that was pretty well done considering how quickly it was. So quickly done. So yeah, props to him.
Yep. All right, and BroNYCon, huh? It was a con. It went well as it could have. Everybody knows.
Bronies. It was in New York City.
Yeah,
BroNYCon.
New York City. I earned myself some blisters, and it was a neat thing. And I could never, ever, ever live in New York City.
I hate that place.
No.
I totally could.
That's living in Manhattan is like a nightmare.
Yeah.
Traffic is.
It's one of the things that I took back. It's I'll go back and I'll be very happy to visit, but I could never live there, even if you paid me, just because it's just the density of people. It's just so weird, so different from Texas.
It's definitely different from. I'm living in southern Illinois right now. I'm just about 20 minutes north of Kentucky. But I was recently up in New York City recording some music for a commercial, and I got to spend 4 or 5 days there. The interesting thing is, though, is once you've lived in New York City for a while, nowhere else feels the same. Nowhere else feels quite right. I keep thinking of things that I could be doing in New York, or just places that I could go, how quickly I could get there. There are definitely cons.
Yeah, I can see that. I definitely saw some karaoke bars and stuff like that, and I was like, dude, I want one of those in my city. I would go there all the time. And
yeah,
that's true. Come to New York City. They have karaoke.
End story.
Because I was 2 days after I was in town 2 days after the con, so I got to do a bunch of the touristy stuff. And AC and Starry and a couple of other people, we just did a lot of walking. And it's just, there's all these cool little shops just everywhere. It's we went to Rockefeller Center, walked through all there, walked through Central Park, walked through to the High Line, went down to the Stonewall Inn, walked to some really...
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yeah, I went to some little Japanese barbecue place. It was literally a hole in the wall, but it was really, really good. It's just...
Those are the best places to eat in New York.
Yeah, and that was the great thing. It's the whole weekend we only went to hole in the walls, or these are this one guy's thing that's famous for X. And that was all we did. No chains, no nothing like that. Just all these standalone New York City entrepreneurs, and it was all good. So it's the breadth of stuff you can try in that city is amazing.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That and then the street vendors, the street food. Just get like a chicken shish kebab or something on the side. You can get a dog. That's all good. Everybody eats hot dogs, but the shish kebabs. Oh.
I didn't get to do that. I paid,
straight off the grill. So good.
I paid $60 for a taxi cab from the airport to the hotel, and then I stayed in the hotel until I had to leave.
Wow. Oh, well, I mean, I'm looking forward to BroNYCon June. I'm hoping it goes well. And hopefully...
You better be going.
Yeah, I know. And hopefully we'll all be able to meet up there. So, there's anything else you wanted to talk about? BroNYCon, Epic Cupcake Time, Mandopony, your music, anything like that?
I would like to point out that I did not write the dubstep, just because a couple of people have been like, "Oh, I came to Mandopony's site and I was expecting dubstep." But no, I didn't do that. I obviously did not write the My Little Pony theme. I just I composed and arranged the orchestral music and produced that. But the actual music was from a band, Excision, I believe. And they, luckily enough, on their Facebook page even like mentioned it and mentioned the cartoon itself. So that was pretty cool. But
Cool.
yeah,
that was indeed. All right. So the next step in this mad train of podcast is episode discussion. So we have actually 2 episodes, but we're going to just really briefly touch on Family Appreciation Day. So we had 2 episodes, and since last time we actually did a recording, Family Appreciation Day and Baby Cakes. So, what did you think? We're just going to go back and just touch on Family Appreciation Day. What did you guys think? Go. Plaster.
I thought it was one of my favorite episodes. It's up there. I love hearing history of things, especially in a world that's already established, and hearing the hopefully, like, if it's spoilers by now, you guys should be slapped. So I'm going to go on and say it. Like, finding out that the Apple family started Bronyville is like, that was just huge for me.
Yeah, it's like also the whole.
we got a map.
Yeah, there's a map, and that Granny Smith is apparently like over 100.
300 years old. She's immortal.
Ponies have very long lifespans. That's a good thing.
Earth ponies have like elven lifespans, you know. They're 700, 800 years. Ain't no thing.
I've had worse.
Or, you know, whatever. It's one of those things where it was a nice lore dump and people could understand, okay, well, Apple Bloom has a reason to be proud of her family.
Mm-hmm. It was really.
Hey, you have heard
actually.
the other theory though behind it all.
Oh,
Granny Smith is just crazy and she made it all up.
That's your theory, isn't it, Bob? That's just you.
No, I've actually read that somewhere, but I personally kind of had mixed feelings about the episode. But I'll let Plaster finish before I start.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm finished on that one. That little point. You can go ahead.
I'm not a big Granny Smith fan. Like, for like the parts that you've seen her in before the episode, where she's like that short, kind of crazy lady, and you only see her for maybe like 30-second stops, that's funny. But like a whole episode based around her, I wasn't feeling it. Then again, I usually don't like Apple Bloom episodes, not because I hate the Cutie Mark Crusaders, I just don't relate to them as much.
And we're there to watch the main 6, not the Cutie Mark Crusaders. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I think a lot of that episode can hinged on people's experiences with their own grandparents and their own older family members doing crazy things and embarrassing them in front of their friends. Because, I mean, I know I had that growing up sometimes.
I can definitely touch on that as well.
And, I mean, I know how that feels, especially with the, you know, the not your friends, and they're, oh, those your friends. Yeah, I've been there and done that, and you know, the teasing and all that. I know that how it goes.
That reminds me of a line, like with the line where Granny Smith's like, they didn't make ponies that pretty in my day, and somebody like made like a Reddit face. It's like they showed a screen cap of Granny Smith when she was a little girl, and she's like, no, they made him prettier. And he was crying and stuff like that. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Young Granny Smith. That was interesting. It's like, yeah,
That was the highlight of my episode. That episode for me. So
Still had the white hair, it looked like. Or maybe it was just a sepia tone.
It was just all the sepia tone, yeah.
All the sepia tone.
I would say I really enjoyed the episode. I thought it was enjoyable, but I thought it was the last half that really made it enjoyable. Like the first half, I felt like this was going to be just, like an average one where it's like, oh, it's a good, it's an entertaining, good episode, but probably not one of my favorites or least favorites. But what I will say is I absolutely adored the music in it by William. I thought it was fantastically written. It was pretty much wall to wall, and he did it. I mean, he always does a good job, but I was just really blown away by it for some reason. And for some reason, I don't know why, it just seemed like the production quality on the episode, just the planning out of the shots, the color choices, the way the characters were introduced scene by scene. I thought it was just really well thought out. I thought. Yeah, go ahead.
It was the first episode that I saw in a long time where they conveyed that much that didn't feel rushed.
It didn't feel rushed, no.
They did a great job with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, from a technical standpoint, I think that the show, it was just made very, very well. I thought it was just a really well-executed episode. I could geek out more, but it's probably not the most interesting thing to listen to.
Yeah, the pacing was really good, and I really liked the way that Granny Smith's VA told the story at the end. Oh, that's Tabitha?
Yeah, that's Tabitha.
Wow.
She's amazing.
Very nice. Mm-hmm. I hope she makes it to the next one, because she's like literally one of the only voice actresses I'm missing. So
yeah, because hopefully AC was probably going to go up to SAC Anime this weekend, which is the Sacramento Anime Convention. He's going to try to get a talk to
Tara?
Tara.
Yeah.
I blinked for a second. I was like, what's her name? She's going to go talk to Twilight Sparkle. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll see about that. We'll probably find out.
That'd be cool.
Now, this week's episode, I wasn't quite feeling it up until the end. And, wow, you really have to like Pinky for this episode. What did you think, Plaster?
I thought, I like Pinky a lot, so I thought it was pretty good. She had a lot of funny moments, like so Pinky moments, and like when you're going on with like crazy old people, and you have to have like an experience with crazy old people embarrassing you in your own family to rely on it. I felt this one I related to a lot, because I've got 3 little brothers that are at least 11 years younger than me, so I went through that. So, like, I had that experience, and I could understand where I was coming from.
I thought the episode was good. I mean, they set it up real early on. It's like, all right, well, they give you some information, first off, that, apparently genetics in Equestria is kind of funny, and the cakes had...
Infidelity.
Yeah, it's just slightly implied.
It's like, that makes sense, right? But that's clearly not implied for the children that watch the show. Either genetics are weird, or Mr. Cake,
Mr. Cake gets around.
Yeah. And they kind of put it up pretty early that,
Or would it be Mrs. Cake?
Yeah, that would be Mrs. Cake getting around.
That the...
Maybe it's like seahorses.
Baby unicorns.
That's the story that they fed to Mr. Cake, so he doesn't be like, "You're cheating on me."
That's what people were saying within 30 seconds of the show airing. I was like, oh, it started off. It begins. But like they state, like, all right, there's a unicorn and a Pegasus, and the unicorns can have these weird magic surges that they're not really controlling very well, and
that's BS.
And that Pegasus are just spastic. And
they're like prodigal children.
Jack.
Seriously,
because they're like a month old,
and they're better than Scootaloo and Sweetie Belle already.
Yeah,
and you can lift yourself and fly as a unicorn and transport through baskets.
Yeah, no, you gotta watch out for that. I'd say Princess Celestia is going to be picking up Pumpkin a little bit here.
They're obviously super kids.
That baby's thinking with portals.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty good episode that Pinky is, like, trying so hard and is so out of her league in terms of dealing with these kids. And just but then like towards the back, third or fourth of the episode, there's that one scene with like the baby on the ceiling and all that crazy stuff. It's like it takes this weird horror movie type turn, and then it fixes itself at the very end. But it was just one of those. It went a very weird place for that one section of the episode. What did y'all think? I
loved it. I thought it was hysterical.
I mean, the creepy part?
Yeah, the creepy part. And the music in that part.
Yeah.
Just, straight up
went full out horror movie.
Yeah.
I don't know how, I was expecting, him to have flown out the window, open window, because that's what you, when you see an open window, you're like, that window's open for a reason. He's outside. Go get him. Now you're going to have to chase him across town or something, but, all right.
Yeah. And the fact that the baby Pegasus could, drag Pinky around a pony that's, 5 or 6 times his mass, that's,
prodigal children.
Yeah. I've always kind of joked that Pegasus have the Mass Effect from those games where they can extend the effect and that's how they carry carriages and stuff. How 4 Pegasus cars can carry that crazy long thing where it's that's their magic. So it's it's this baby little prodigy pony just dragging around an adult. Clearly it's exaggerated for the sake of the episode, and it just kind of probably not all baby ponies are like that, but it was a funny scene set.
Yeah, I appreciate slapstick in cartoons, to be honest, because I feel like a lot of cartoon shows kind of pander to kids, and they're like, oh, well, we can't have an anvil and then a piano fall on Twilight Sparkle's head because then kids are going to think that ponies can survive that sort of thing. No, it's funny. Kids get that it's a cartoon. And I like the fact that there was a whole bunch of slapstick in this episode. And I am a Pinkie Pie fan. She's not my favorite character, but I am a fan of hers. And I'm a fan of Andrea's always stellar performance. And,
very good.
So good in this episode. So it was just enjoyable. I don't think it was an amazing episode, but I smiled the entire time.
You can't hate it.
Pretty enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm gonna put a shout out if anybody wants to slip a time skip twins art to me. Go ahead.
Yep. They're going to be Scootaloo and adult can't fly, and these things the Pegasus is going to be a Wonderbolt.
And then
I could have been a contender.
I seriously want some.
Somebody. No, you don't understand. I could have had class. I could have been a Wonderbolt.
Sorry. She's just a chump.
I'm just a bum. This is what I am. It's fishing.
I live and breathe off of time skip art, so I look forward to that.
Yep. It's a good episode, and hey, next week, Applejack episode.
Jay.
Well,
it's about time.
Or actually, I think if it's the last roundup, it's a Applejack goes missing and her friends go looking for her.
I thought that was supposed to be the Apple Cider thingy. The showdown.
They're doing it where it's 2 character episodes in a row, and this one's going to be the main cast minus AJ trying to find AJ, so it'll probably be a split storyline episode.
Oh, I got that mixed up somewhere. Then
then you have the cider one where it's physical skill versus
mechanical,
versus industry, bet the farm kind of thing. It's it'll be interesting to see how they handle it. And then the one after that is Rainbow Dash finds she likes reading, so it'll probably be Rainbow Dash and Twilight hanging out, which would be cool.
Then isn't there a Valentine's Day episode?
Yeah, I
think that's still rumored, isn't it? Or is that
it's not actually there's a marathon. It's a 20 episode marathon. That leads to it's supposed to be Valentine's Day episode, so it's the episodes they're coming up, but I don't know in what order. But that one's called Hearts and Hooves, so we'll see what happens with that one.
We'll see what they inspire the community to do after that episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that it's probably not going to be any of the main 6 with the cult. It's probably going to be a CMC having a crush on Spike. Just
you know that whatever they do, if the ponies aren't all lesbians, it's Storm Central. So
I know that if they just randomly shove a background cult with any of the main six, the internet will burn down. So we're gonna hope that's avoided. And it
honestly,
could be
I wouldn't mind seeing them do that, because honestly, I think the whole lesbian thing, especially with Rainbow Dash, is kind of
overplayed and stupid.
It's not only is it overplayed, but it's the complete opposite of what Lauren Faust's initial intentions were.
Yeah, she's
a strong believer in strong women characters, and saying, they're all lesbians. It's just kind of the opposite.
I remember her specifically saying too that the idea that Rainbow Dash, thinking of her as being lesbian for some reason because of the haircut and the rainbow and stuff, was pretty sexist, and very exactly the opposite message they want to get across to little girls, which is that you can be whoever you want to be without having other people put these assumptions on you. And
yeah.
I mean, nothing against it. I really couldn't care less, but
I see there's going to be a lot of clashing, because if you're familiar with like anime fan bases, like especially 4chan's A board, they have waifus where they fall in love with 2D characters, and if like anybody finds out that they had a relationship before they know them, they're suddenly a slut and they're ruined. And
let's not go there, guys. We're gonna get M is gonna
just some education for y'all. It's just as a heads up for what we might expect.
Yeah, but that's in a few weeks, and M, feel free to cut this at your discretion. Moving on.
We'll fix it in post.
We can always fix it in post. We don't do this live. Moving on to emails.
I hope you keep it in there, Ben.
You can always email us at the show at bronyville@gmail.com. That is a show email address. Both AC and I get it, and we read it. Now, we get like 100+ emails a week. So, if you send us an email...
That's why you don't respond to my emails, jerks.
If we don't respond to your emails, please know that when you send stuff in, we do read it and we do appreciate it. But we really get a lot of emails, and not everyone can make it onto the show. And not everything can get a reply, because we are busy guys. But do know that you're appreciated. Moving on to the first email, I'll read first, then Plaster, then, if you guys are comfortable, Rob and Mando. And we'll just go through the bottom of this, and we'll be...
Yeah, sure thing.
We'll be nearing the end. All right, well, I will start us out. This is regarding the fanfiction special that we put out in place of... last week's episode, because it got eaten. It is definitely nice to see some exposure to the fan fiction writing community that makes up part of the Brony community as a whole. Primarily as a reader, I am of course subjected to much movement around the Brony community, jumping from one website to another in search of fics to read. As you guys point out, Equestria Daily is a huge site offering a lot of different fics to read, and quality is almost always ensured there, but of course that means you don't get to see new or not very experienced writers turn out fresh ideas. My preferred website for reading fics is FimFiction, a great site centered solely around fiction. To my knowledge, there's 3,000 plus fics, a massive library, I know. What I love about it is that you can easily track fics so you're notified when they update, if at all. Update and all. And I also love reading and handing feedback to the writers, and I've seen fics there that exceed all expectations. There are always going to be some, and of course tend to spill into Equestria Daily and vice versa. Anyways, thank you for reading. Tranquility out, Banksy.
Now we actually hang out with Nighty, the guy who owns that site, in IRC channels. So I'm not sure why you weren't plugging that before.
Well, generally, I have in the past. If it's linked off FimFiction, I linked to FimFiction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. FimFiction's great. It's a good website. You will find fics of all quality levels there. You can find some stuff you might not want to read. But generally, there's lots of stories that don't make it to Equestria Daily there. And if you really, really, really have an insatiable appetite for owning stories, go there and check it out. All
right. So I'll move on and read the next one here. Hello, Apple Cider, who is not here, Chef Sandy, and guests. I just listened to your BroNYCon interview, and I learned for the first time about the existence of the Bronies for Good charity. I think it's a wonderful cause, so I donated $100. Nicole is right. More people should know about this charity. Whether you realize it or not, you're really making a difference by helping spread the word. Keep up the great work. Biomon.
And about the Bronies for Good. We're actually going to have them on the show, I think, next week. And they can discuss what they do in terms of charity, as well as their Smile charity album. And that we'll have Cupcakes. He was the guy who went up on stage when Nicole was talking about how we should do charitable stuff. Well, he was the guy that went up and talked, so...
Is Telefee going to be on there too, or
probably?
Because he's the guy who runs Pony Leaks, but that's his pet project. But he's really plugging Bronies for Good, and
okay, maybe I need to get in touch with the various people and see who he wants to bring on, but he's just our point of contact.
All right,
they're coming up soon.
Sure. I'll go ahead and take one on. And I just thought I'd say something real quick because you mentioned the word smile. A lot of people ask me, they will give me requests as far as songs that they'd like me to perform or do covers of. I just thought I'd just go ahead and say this now, that I will never, ever record a cover of a song that has not actually already been released into the show. So just going to go ahead and put that out there.
Good call.
If it's ever been leaked... I just wanted to bring that up real quick. Anyway, cold reading.
It's good to make that.
Yeah. Because we're all eagerly waiting for when that song,
the official, comes out. Yeah,
but
I thought they didn't. So they canceled that. I thought that was one of the things that they're not going to put in the show because they cut the episode of this part. Or something.
I think they were talking about actually releasing a soundtrack and having that on there.
Yeah. So it's one of those we'll have to wait and see when it comes out because I like the song. I just want to have it officially out there so people can do remixes. Moving on.
Okay. Cold reading. Dear Chef Sandy and Apple Cider, and of course your honored guests, I was at BroNYCon this past weekend, and it was one of the most excellent adventures, nice, I've ever had the privilege to undertake. I didn't know if that was maybe a Bill and Ted reference or not, but anyway. I was thrilled at the opportunity to meet Andrea Libman, Ashley Ball, and Nicole Oliver, Tekka Ramity, and Seth Astow from Equestria Daily, and all of the excellent artists, as well as the opportunity to pick up some great pony swag. One of the things to which I was looking forward most enthusiastically, however, was the opportunity to see you two in action, interviewing the voice actresses and Daniel Ingram, and of course to buy a set of your snazzy buttons. I've been a fan of Bronyville for a long time now, and by the end of the day, the only thing on my to-do list that I hadn't yet accomplished, thanks to the enormous crowd, was to find you gentlecoats and acquire your signatures. I was just beginning to give up on the prospect when I stepped out of the Bronypalooza concert to see you two and Starry Night sitting at a table in the hall. I've yet to say the moments that followed were I have to say that the moments that followed were a highlight of my BroNYCon experience, as I got to witness some classic Cider/Sandy banter firsthand when AC jokingly threatened to draw a mustache on Rainbow Dash, and I told him to go for it. Sorry about that, Sandy. I'm a huge Rainbow Dash fan, but the opportunity was just too good to pass up. Anyway, thanks so much to the both of you for a hilarious memory and a unique souvenir in the form of a rainbow stash. You guys are fantastic. And now, so your incomparable guest doesn't feel left out, a question for all of you. At the con, Nicole Oliver mentioned that she wanted to see bronies use their influence for good by donating to charity. As she now knows, there are a whole lot of charitable brony projects out there making the world a better place. So I want to know, what's your favorite brony-related charitable cause, and what makes them your favorite? Your faithful listener, Noodaloo.
Andy has a good episode. Andy has a good answer for this.
This is a good episode. Answer.
It is a good episode.
Maddie Peters, who is the voice of Scootaloo, best CMC, just saying, has partnered with, Your World Vision, and she's got a charity up right now helping raise money to fight famine in the Horn of Africa. And her goal initially, whenever she started this on December 11th, that was about a month ago, her goal was $10,000. And thanks to a lot of really generous donations and a lot of really generous bronies and the tenacity of the brony spirit, she's now up to currently $4,165. So that's a lot, but that's not nearly enough. enough, and we need more bronies to get out there and get this done. I posted a link to this on the collaboration that I did with Acoustic Brony and Maddie Peters for the song, the Jingle Bells song, the Scootaloo Jingle Bells song. Thanks to Everfree Radio for that. And you can find the link there, or I'm sure that you guys can post a link to the donation, right?
Yep, it's in the show notes. Right
Awesome.
there.
Awesome, fantastic. But yeah, bronies, go out there, do your thing, and make the world a better place by just being a brony and donate what you can. And if you can't donate anything, spread the word.
Yep. It was kind of funny. This email mentioned us, the AC and Starry Night and I were all sitting down at a table. We had actually just sort of occupied one of the voice actors signing tables, and we were just all flopped because it's been such a long and tiring day. I mean, a good day, no doubt, but we were just there kind of like,
I passed out by 10 p.m. I was gone. It was a long day.
You know, Tinker came by and was like, "Are you guys okay? Is everything fine?" I was like, "Yeah, we're just really tired." And we did actually set up and we're selling some of our buttons just because they were there, and people came by, but we were just completely exhausted by the end of that night, and we didn't go to bed till like 3. It was crazy. To say that we slept till noon on Sunday shouldn't be too much of a surprise for anybody. All right, next reader. Mando, Rob, one of you?
I got it.
All right.
This one's actually pretty funny. I just read through it. Dear Apple Cider, Chef Sandy, and any ponios you've managed to blackmail into being on your show. You said it on a number of occasions that MOP is a lighthearted show that all the grim dark fics are a bit silly. Not so. MOP is only light on the surface. You don't have to dig very deep to reveal the currents of darkness that run through the show. For example,
That's true.
Nightmare Moon is a monster, but the true horror happens in her backstory. Celestia, forced to banish her sister, the only lifelong friend she could possibly have, for 1,000 years. It makes me tear up just to think about it. There are others, like the cheerful psychopath that is Discord, and the recurrent theme of insanity and psychological breakdown. Applebook Season, Party of One, Best Night Ever, Lesson 0, Secrets of My Excess.
Hi, girls.
Hi, girls. Hey, Hannibal Lecter, that's cool.
What are you doing out of your cage?
Oh, you're eating his brain. That's adorable. Personally, I don't mind a bit of dark, but no more than that. I have no plans to read the original Cupcakes. The only version I can recommend is the Rainbow Dash Presents one by Fim Flame Philosophy on YouTube. It is very, very funny. Only half in jest, lunatic scientist. P.S. Nama Moon tells me she's best pony. I'm not going to argue.
There you go.
I actually got to
beware. We have waffles.
I actually got to meet Sergeant Sprinkles at BroNYCon. He was kind of going around with Mega Sweet, who was incognito, and pretty cool guy. He really kind of wants to get away from the fame of Cupcakes. So
yeah, it's like
I don't know why it's that, like that's the same thing with like My Little Dash here, but he's like, but at the same time, like this, it's a teary story. I'll give it that, but it has a lot of holes in it. Namely the fact that like a paragraph, oh, it's 5 years later. Another paragraph, oh, it's another 5 years. Like, okay.
Well,
so in the 15 years, nobody saw a bright rainbow-colored pony flying around.
So awesome.
yeah, well, I mean, it is a story, but I mean, the grim and the dark. I do agree though that the world of Equestria has plenty of messed up creatures in it.
Oh yeah.
You've got famine sparking parasprites. You have caterpillars that stampede and eat all the apples. You've got timber wolves that are like wood elementals.
Literally.
You have multiple dragons. You've got manticores and all these other crazy monsters. The Wendigos,
Cockathingies.
Yeah.
Basically, you open up a D&D monster manual and you've got pretty much everybody in that book. So
Pretty much.
I'm waiting for dinosaurs.
A raptor attack.
Velociraptor attack.
Velociraptors go into Ponyville, begin opening.
Shoot!
Cue Jurassic Park theme.
Clever girl.
First time. if you don't mind.
Oh, God.
Oh, my.
That didn't work.
All right, well, I will read the next email.
I'm waiting for a Jason Statham attack.
Oh, yeah.
He just goes in there and just beats everybody up. And you're like, what is he doing in this?
I'm Jason Statham, that's why.
I'm Jason Statham. Don't make me do this. And he just beats everybody up. That's like every movie. He's just there, and he's like, I'm Jason Statham. I don't want to do this. And he just kicks everyone in the face. And you're like, really, Jason? Do you want to? Oh, never mind. That was cool.
Why don't you calm down and just have some tea and crumpets? No.
Gotta keep moving.
All right, let's keep moving here. Stay on target. Next email. Dear hosts of Awesome, you guys did an awesome job at BroNYCon Saturday throughout the entire interview with the voice actress and composer. I don't know what you two do professionally, but somehow you should find a way to make it this. Not only do you maintain the professionalism and not go all fanboy around little icons of the fandom, but you manage to keep control over the crowd that obviously wants to do the same as well. What a weekend it has been. First we get Friendship is Witchcraft Episode 5, Epic Pie Time, with more information on My Little Pony fighting his magic, and of course BroNYCon itself. I wish it could have gone, but bills need to be paid. With everything that's been awesome this weekend, I anxiously await the next episode with bated breath, eager to hear your thoughts about the whole experience. Always a pleasure listening. Sumas. I have to say, Friendship is Witchcraft is pretty darn funny. It
is hysterical.
The Sisterhood Social one today after the Hex Mega stream, and I was like, wow, this is surprisingly funny and not terrible. I should also make a quick shout out to Friendship is Witchcraft and say thanks for using the instrumental version of With a Sister, my song. They contacted me asking for an instrumental version to have in their episode, and I was like, oh, that's fantastic. So I sent them a quick one, and they put it in there, and I thought it worked pretty well, and I was really pleased to have them do that, especially for such a funny episode. It was really good. So thanks, you guys. Yeah, I had not seen it. I sort of like, these are bridge series, because they do it.
But this is actually good.
It's actually good, surprisingly good. Wow.
Now I'll have to watch it because I haven't gotten around to it yet. Yes, indeed. But I wanted to touch base on that whole doing this professionally thing. And you know what? If I could find that career somewhere, I'd totally do it because I had a load of fun. And while I think staying professional comes down to our positions when like the length we've been in the fan base. Like a lot of like me, and I know Sandy has been here since before a lot of these guys have gotten big. So we've seen them grow, and we're kind of like, oh, that's pretty cool. We're not like fanboying over them. Mm-hmm.
Well, plus we also know that people expect us to put our best foot forward and do the absolute best we can, and of course for our own sake, so that we look good in front of the community, and so that the community also looks good to the people we're interviewing. Mm-hmm. So that the voice actors aren't like, who are we talking to again? Mm-hmm. You know, or Daniel, you know, getting weirded out or anything, you know.
Daniel does a great job.
Brony. Oh, he seems to be like straight up Brony. He's awesome.
He loves us.
Daniel's great.
We can't do anything wrong in his eyes, I think. So.
You know.
Let's not have that be a challenge.
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
Challenge people.
Yeah.
What can we do to piss off Daniel?
No.
Let's just see.
Tangenting back towards the BroNYCon, actually, I thought it was hilarious when we were doing the interview with Daniel that all the music bronies came up and were just like up there at the front looking like, you know, they were waiting on
Santa Claus,
an Academy Award and Santa Claus and $1 million bill at the same time, because when he was giving people shout outs and they're just like
and I'm all right.
You know, I thought it was amazing.
They shouted out to Mando, and Mando was just ecstatic, to say the least.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, I'll admit the music. I've said over and over that the music in this community is one of my favorite aspects of it, and you know, I think that is just absolutely awesome. And Daniel is an amazing bro. He listens to what the music community produces and will give props to them for what they've done.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, he's a very humble guy, very generous with his time, and especially for a professional, I think that a lot of others could learn to treat their fans in the same really courteous way. And he's just a very, very classy guy.
Yeah. That last email seems to be yours, Plaster.
Yes, it is. Hello, AC, Thomas Shefferson, Starry Night, and awesome guests. First of all, I'd like to thank you guys for making this marvelous show. It really helps me get through the week. Moving on, I finally gathered up the courage and inspiration to write you guys after listening to them for a month or two. Don't worry, I'm working my way backwards through previous episodes whenever I need something to listen to. Anyways, I'm a collegiate athlete, more specifically a short sprinter, and I'm wondering where all my athlete bronies are at. I've met a couple of bronies around campus, and I've converted a few of my friends, but I can't find any athletes that are bronies without my influence, and I just can't figure out why. All right, wrapping up with 2 specific questions for you guys. Of all the spectacular songs this show has given us, which one is your favorite? Personally, I can't decide between Find a Pet, Winter Wrap-Up, and Art of the Dressed. Lastly, why is there no/little love for Applejack? Thanks for reading, and I hope to see you guys at BroNYCon. From your fan, Word 10101-Lionheart. P.S. Rainbow Dash is best pony. You know, sprinter, speed, and all that. Applejack and Rarity are second best, but I love them all. Oh, and minus the main 6, Sweetie Belle is the best. She is so dang adorable. Also, if you ever got around to getting that nickel jar, 20% cooler, 20% cooler, 20% cooler, winky face.
Those are your nickels, man.
I have an easy answer.
What?
Somebody
to the nickel jar?
Someone's probably like, if I had a nickel for every time we said 20% cooler.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like a swear jar, except it's 20% cooler jar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like that. Athlete bronies.
I have the answer to that. We're nerds.
Yeah, I will say.
We're not the jock types. We're really just stay at home and make electronic music type.
Eggheads.
That's me, yes. That's me. I spent 2 hours in the library yesterday. It was awesome!
Yeah, this email came in, and I will admit that I was like, I'm going to have to put this in there just see what funny reactions we'll get, because I will say that a lot of the people that I saw at BroNYCon were very much the nerd archetype, and everything that it comes with. You know, you have the extremes, the scrawny dudes and the big dudes, and there's not the athletic types really in there. But, you know, it takes all kinds, and I'm sure there's military bronies, so I'm sure there's athletic bronies out there too, so...
There seem to be a lot of military. I've seen a lot of cool like patches and stuff of like Rainbow Dash that have been put on military uniforms and stuff.
Yeah. That one guy that was in the uniform at BroNYCon, he had one that was like Rainbow Dash saving your ass in 10-second flat. I thought it was pretty
Nice.
cool. My favorite songs. What do y'all think?
Well, I already said that. You know, I think my favorite is At the Gala, but it's just because it's so clever, so well written. Just the music goes all over the place, but it stays focused at the same time, and that takes a lot of skill. Any other composer out there listening knows what I'm talking about. I just love that song.
I'm gonna have to agree with it was Mando, right? But like it's just so big that every single of the main 6 has their own segment that sounds different and tuned to that pony, yet it all has the same theme. And I think that was fantastic. I always I gush about how big the chorus was and how they used Bryan Adams' studio, and it's mind blowing, and it really fit the finale of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say that I really do like the Find a Pet song, but actually I'm gonna have to say that like Becoming Popular, I really like the songs that lend themselves to remixing.
Yeah,
and, like Find a Pet is pretty much completely unremixable. I've seen 2 that I've kept.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the song either. I mean, it's good.
I mean, I like the musical theater style of it, but it's like not remixable. So you have there's the original version, and that's about it. But Becoming Popular has had just a ton of really good remixes, and I really like the song, and I like Kazumi Evans, who is the voice of Rarity singing. So that one would probably be my favorite.
Koizumi, I think.
Koizumi.
Kazumi Evans, yeah, that's right, yeah. She's,
Kazumi,
what a
yeah.
voice. Yeah, Kazumi, there we go. And, yeah, it's funny because Becoming Popular is just a straight-up great pop song. It's just a really good pop song, and it's really listenable, it's very accessible, and I love it. I think that the Find a Pet song, like you'd said, is really much more along the lines of, again, like a Sondheim song, a great musical theater tune, and I adore that song. And after trying to make after I did a karaoke version of it, going through it note for note and putting in every single note, you just really appreciate how creative and how fantastic, what skill it takes to compose something like that. And
Yeah,
I think it's brilliant, but it's definitely not going to be to everyone's tastes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I just have to kind of shake my head. It's like we know so much. We know so much of the technical aspects of the show. I mean, we're professionals practically. I mean,
I wonder how to make
you guys.
sound effects.
Seriously, you guys. We're serious business, you guys.
Oh, God.
we know where these were recorded. We know who records them, and it's just. I think it's great.
We're kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Kind of a big deal.
I'm sorry, Bob. Did I interrupt you, man?
No, it's totally cool.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. I'm going to have a talk with you later. But, yeah, I do have to say, I think another reason why Pinkie Pie is probably my favorite is because she just has some really good songs. Not saying that she has the only good songs, but some of the quick ones that she does at a spur, like Cupcakes, that's a pretty intense song.
It's a really
especially
intense
for,
song.
Yeah.
For it being like a minute long, and then you just get stuck in your head, and you're just like...
Yeah, one thing though, that in the recent episode, the little oink 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 thing, that was like really out there, and
Yeah.
that one.
That was pretty good.
There's going to be remixes, just because that's the nature of the beast. But it's one of those. This is just really out there and very, very much a baby song. I mean,
Yeah.
it makes,
She was singing it for babies.
I mean, it makes sense contextually, but it's like, what a weird little song.
I love it.
All right.
I'm sorry. I keep digressing. I will say that I think now my second favorite song, though, is Pinkie's Laughter. Because after Daniel's challenge, I went and listened to it a whole bunch again and realized this is such a good little song. And that's got a special place in my heart now, too. I love that one now.
Yep. And not that bad for a first song we heard of this on the show, you know?
Mm-mm.
All right, so moving forward, we've almost got this wrapped up. It's going to be an hour and a half raw file, probably a little bit shorter once y'all get it. I haven't actually gone through and pulled all the names of the people rating, but we are currently sitting at 445 five-star reviews on iTunes. Thank you very much for doing that. Yeah, it's like 445 5 stars, and then like 2 4 stars, 1 3 stars, and then like 2 1 stars that were like just
haters,
people being jerks. It's like, oh, they're ponies.
How dare they have fun with ponies?
How dare we? We haven't stopped liking things that they don't like. That's okay. Give us a rating, give us a review. That lets us be more accessible and more noted into the community. I think the highest we've gotten up is like number 52 in the top 120 popular in apps or in movies and games or TV and film. God, terrible.
You'll get it eventually. Yeah.
Yeah, our goal is to show up, in like the top, in the front page, in the top 36 or so. That'd be great. But let's see, where are we today? Oh, wait, we're in like the top 50 again. That's great. Oh no, we're 73rd. Oh.
Ouch.
Well, that's out of the top 120 on iTunes. There's a lot of podcasts out there, just saying.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
We're ahead of the Dexter cast, but behind iCarly. It happens. But then
That's
again,
a
it's
rough
also
blow.
been 4 days since we released an episode. So you go, the way iTunes does it is really weird. You go up and down the list like all the time. So that's really cool, and we really appreciate all of our reviewers and favorites and all that fun stuff, too. Moving on, I'm sure by the time AC's finished listening to this, he'll facepalm 5 or 6 times because I'm normally not the one in charge. It's a big responsibility. Dear Princess Celestia, doing a podcast is
We're doing
hard.
one cool thing. Hold on.
The last little thing, the one cool thing, my pick of this week is the Baby Cakes deleted scene. And watch it, it's short, and I'm sure you'll understand.
I really love how Evan got that out like 30 minutes after the episode and everybody's still freaking out about it. Well, that's exactly what happened when we did Epic Pie Time and he uploaded it to YouTube. Everybody freaked out because he changed the apples like right before he uploaded it because he saw the Zap Apple thing.
Yeah.
And he's a wizard.
Oh, yeah, he's a wizard.
They weren't in the original file I saw, weren't they?
No, they weren't. That's something he changed last minute. We were going to change it for BroNYCon, but I was having a hard enough time getting a hold of anybody on staff, let alone trying to email Kevin to switch it out before we do that. It just wouldn't make sense.
Nightmare.
A nightmare.
Yep.
Got it done, though. That's the thing. You got it done. It worked out perfectly. So,
Yep.
Chicago boys came out. We got it done.
Chicago.
Went thick on that.
the burst.
I made about Takers dozen for me there, Bob.
You're dealing with some Chicago bronies here.
Yeah.
I'm from Wisconsin, so I know what it is.
Oh,
Cheese. I love cheese.
How about them Packers?
You know what's I will say this, though. I can't help but... I'm a Bears fan, but I genuinely like the guys on the Packers right now, and it freaks me out.
Well, now that the Bears are out of the playoffs, you can cheer for the Packers without any guilt.
Yeah.
How about them Cowboys?
Sorry, but like Mystery Science Theater, I watched that show religiously as a kid. So every time I think of the Packers, I just think that episode of just a giant spider invasion where it's in Wisconsin, it's just a bunch of crazed, angry mobs, and all you hear them shouting is, "Yeah, Packers won the Super Bowl! Woo, Packers!"
It's one of my favorites too. That's great. Packers just won the Super Bowl. Woo!
He just like plows his car into the gas station that blows up.
Packers won.
Honey, Packers won the Super Bowl, and his house just blows up.
Okay, that's very random.
Good times.
Oh, and go Bruins. Any other hockey fans in the MLB?
If AC was here, he could talk about hockey all day. But
I do college hockey.
But he's not.
Badger hockey.
Is it okay for me and Andy to plug one little thing in?
Of course.
If you guys want to know, hooflix.com/cupcakes is an actual site, and you guys should go check it out.
Do it.
I'm not saying
You
but
should have plugged that earlier.
The people have stopped listening by now. They just heard us go off and.
So soon we're with the Packers winning the Super Bowl, and next
they're probably like, Packers, let's get out of here.
Pack it up. They're done. Let's go. All right. So, my one cool thing is the Ponyville Replies Tumblr. I have it written down here in the show notes that it's an Ask blog with a bunch of artists that I've known for a while. They're all working together. They're all taking questions that people ask, and they're making themselves kind of competing to make the answers. And it works out way better than any single artist replies, because there's ones like with Crooked Trees and Sweatshirt and a couple other people that literally they've all shut down, like Scoon and stuff like that, with all the really popular ones with just one person. Suddenly they just stop. But this has a way longer life expectancy and way more potential with multiple people working on it.
Sounds good. And moving on, Rob.
There's a really good remix everybody should check out. It's called it's RGV. He just started making music maybe December, early December. He also was one of the people that did a really awesome remix of Becoming Popular.
Yes, definitely.
And it's a lot of electric, I don't want to say dubstep, but more like house, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really good.
Big shout out to RGV here. You're doing great stuff, man.
Yeah, he's really impressive.
Very cool. And last but not least, Mando.
My original cool thing was going to be the charity by Maddie Peterson's The Scootaloo, which I do still want you to go out, but since we already covered that, I'll go ahead and bring up the fact that Everfree Radio, I actually was brought on for just a couple hours ago as a guest, sort of like co-interviewer, and we interviewed the Living Tombstone, and that was a lot of fun because he's a really cool guy. But I might be doing a couple more with them in the future with Everfree. So I'll get to this thing. This ain't as easy as it looks, is it?
No,
this whole interviewing thing.
No, it's definitely not. You get the jitters and.
Yeah, but anyways, yes.
It works out. I really hope I get to work more with Everfree Radio in the future. They're doing good things. Cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that I'm really surprised by how professional and cool all of the podcasts are, and the working of the professionalism that you guys are showing and Everfree is showing, and it's just really, really great stuff. And again, it all represents the community in a very positive way, and that's what it's all about. But yeah, look out for a Tombstone interview where I get to talk with them, and that's fun.
Very cool. All right, well, this has been a heck of an episode. Hopefully M doesn't go too crazy, editing it down to a more manageable, non-crazy form. I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you, Plaster, Mando, and Rob for coming on the show, especially Plaster for coming at such short notice.
Anytime,
I literally asked you last night, going, hey, what are you up to tomorrow?
You know what? Anytime, man. I love being on here.
All right, and thank you, everybody, for listening, and have a good one.
Yeah, thanks very much for having us. It's been awesome.
Thanks you for having us.
Yep. All right. Adios.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
was a dream.